But I don't know if you want
I'm
to.
rudely interrupted.
That's not a problem. It's your day, you can just say what
Well,
you want to.
I mean, the only thing we're missing on the bids, but let me just say this, that we had a meeting a month ago. So we should have had these bids in hand, and so if we needed to do a better job, and like I said, I wasn't even at the last meeting, so I don't know what you're talking about, but if we needed to do a better job of saying, go back and get your bids, and then come to the next meeting, then that's what we need to do. We don't need to be wasting people's time to come back 30 days, and come back another 30 days, and so on and so forth. So I think that, we just need to get to the details of what's needed and get it in here and then get it done. That way we can all move on.
That's a great.
The second bullet says it will be necessary for the applicant to present the plans and ideas to FEDC board for consideration of grant. So plans were then taken.
The whole thing is, that is for, I understand what y'all are saying, but I would think what you look at right there is more than plans on a piece of paper what's going to be done. It's a finished product, it's been done, it's your grant is for facade, it's for the front of the building. So I think we're arguing about, discussing little things here, but the work, the whole process is to make sure the work is done and y'all pay the bills on it. I mean, it's done. You've seen it, it's done. So whether or not y'all want to approve it or not,
Yeah.
that's fine. Y'all can keep your $7,500 if it's that big to you. I've already borrowed enough to take care of it.
That's
Yeah,
not the
it's not-
attitude we
it's not a
have.
problem.
We have worked this policy before, even with its shortcomings, and the bids have come to us ahead of time.
Y'all just didn't approve what I did to the front of the building, is what y'all approved, right? Y'all just didn't approve.
My thing is that I would support spending 50% of the $7,500 on this project. Okay, that would be my point. Now, if we don't feel comfortable doing that tonight and getting the bids to support those documents, that's
Well,
fine.
the one thing I can't understand here, and Tommy and I had a long discussion because for some reason he couldn't remember who I am and where the lodges were, and we had a pretty good little discussion on that. But y'all get all excited when a business wants to come in and spend $50,000 in downtown and redo a building. I mean, Tommy was talking about a bakery. Oh, they're going to spend $50,000. In the last 4 years, I've spent almost $1 million on cabins and that whole building down there. And never once did Tommy come to me during that time. Never once, it's really, I think there needs to be something here with the EDC for local people. Because if I would have been from Corn City or Kennedy and come to Tommy and said, I want to do this, I want to spend $1 million in your downtown, y'all would have been jumping up on the table and shit and been all excited. But when the local person does it, I mean, now we're worried about $7,500 reimbursement. And I understand that's fine, and I'll get receipts, whatever I need to do.
Well,
it's just kind of weird that a
It's not a
local
bunch
person
of
would
money.
spend a lot of money on something and it's not.
Once again, why do we need to be approving something after it's done? I mean, that's the bottom line. It would have been a whole different situation if it would have been done in advance of that. And whenever we have a developer coming in to develop a piece of property and they start talking to us about something they need, it's going to be in advance of them spending $500,000. That is the point. I would adhere to what we have here. I know we need to clean up the language, but, I'm not
If you
for
get us
retroactively spending the whole dollar amount on the facade. That's not what the deal was. So.
And again, I feel very strongly that, what is the bottom line here? What are we looking for and did it meet that requirement? Again, procedurally, obviously, there's a question and probably a correct question that it wasn't done properly. But the bottom line is we have something here that's worth whatever it is that we're granting for doing it. And again, this is a multi-faceted gain, I think. Not only are we looking at something that looks, and I was here back in the 40s and 50s, Etch and Burke as it looked then, and better even, but it's a business that we're acquiring that's going to benefit Floresville in several ways. It's a revenue producer. It's housing people that need housing, and you're always saying we need that, more and that, of that. Right now, I know it's a downtime, but it'll come back again. And so all I'm saying is procedurally, maybe not right, substantively, perfect.
What I'll say is, I mean, I'm sorry, but I was a contractor that did the two cleaners and Arcadia. And, but again, they tell me for the estimate, they told me the situation, so I gave them a great price, knowing that the FEC was going to get a grant. So I put a good pencil to it, not, but the thing is, I believe it's got to be cleaned up and dated and stuff, but as far as that, I wouldn't question that, because he did put a lot of money in it. And we know about, it's the money that we have a process, and, you know, so much we have to draw the line, but yeah, it doesn't mean that we're not gonna prove that. But I just want to let you know, just because somebody from Carson City, I'd rather have a local. I mean, I don't take pride if someone's coming out here, you know. I'm in business, and I expect anybody here in business, giving me business, to do work here like Arcadia did. So I don't treat just someone from outside any different. Now, we should be pushing more for locals, you know, and that's what I tend to do. But let's clean it up and, you know,
Any more comments?
I move we approve the $7,500 for the project.
Been moved by Jason, seconded by Fred to approve the project.
$7,500 for the project.
For the project.
I move to amend motion to include estimates or
Unapproved.
whatever, how do you word this? Back supporting documentation for the expenditures.
Before funding.
Full funding, is that what you want to say?
No. Before we pay, I believe we ought to see receipts for the expenditures.
Okay.
Now we have to vote on the amendment, on the proposal to amend, before we can go back.
Do we have a second on the proposal to amend?
Second.
I have a motion to amend by Jay, second by Ray Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
4 ayes, 1 nay. Ayes have it. Now we need to go back and vote on Jason's motion with the amendment. You just want to restate your motion with the amendment?
I move that we approve the $7,500 for the project, and then he indicated that we provide estimates before funding, correct?
Right.
So we're good. So mine was just, I move that we approve the $7,500.
No, now we have it all in one motion. Go a second.
I'll second that.
Motion by Jason, second by Fred. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
So the sooner you get us estimates, the sooner.
Yes.
How much you do?
Okay. Now, having done that, I've got a question. What are we gonna do next month when Jim Miller comes up here and provides us?
That's my concern, though.
We're gonna put this, we're gonna put this on the agenda for the next
I mean,
meeting
I do think
and get this.
There is
approved.
no doubt you did a beautiful job, Gilmore. I'm
Absolutely.
not taking it away from you.
Yes, ma'am.
Please understand that, I'm not.
But y'all are looking past the wrong thing. He's worried about Jim painting something. If it was painted and there's been, I'm just saying that the work is done, you can see the progress, you can
It's a
see what it's done.
conceptual-
We all agree, beautiful
Yeah.
job,
Yeah.
that's not the issue. The
That's
issue's
right.
real simple. What are we gonna do
Yeah.
next month when Jim Miller comes up here and says, look at the beautiful job I did in my facade?
Yeah.
And if he shows you bids and estimates
And
and
he's
the grant's
already been paid for
the
it.
grant is in place to be able to do it.
You got some of
So we
that.
need to put that
Huh?
on the
You got
agenda
some of that,
next
too.
month
Some
to
of
get
yours
that
are.
all clarified and revised.
I think Andy.
This facade was updated.
Huh?
But PDC participated in it already. Not this, I think.
At the next meeting, we need to approve
Yes. I
an
agree with that.
amended or modified policy
And this need to be put on the agenda.
that's clearly,
Yes.
clearly
Yeah.
states.
We need to see what data has it. That's correct.
I agree. Moving along, agenda item 6, discussion of possible action item, funding by FDC $10,000 along with $10,000 funded by the city of Vernia for a 4-square market study, assessing the potential for a new YMCA serving Vernia, Floresville, and surrounding communities in Wilson County by YMCA for Greater San Antonio.
Comment, wouldn't that be kind of contrary to what we said on old business G? Isn't that a little premature since we're having that meeting? I thought that was to kind of resolve what the sensing of the council is. And that, we were going to learn for that.
It's a discussion item, possible
At
action.
this point,
Yeah.
since I was not at the first part of the last meeting, what was the overall presentation like, or the?
I think most of us agreed that it would be a good thing to take a look at.
Yeah.
Because it fit into what city council wants to do overall with parks and recreation. And we wanted to kind of get a feel from YMCA, what are they talking about, you know.
And the reason this is on like it is because I felt like FEDC makes the decision about the money and the funding, and we can meet next week with council and say, we approved the funding. Now tell us, are you going to work with us or not on this? But basically, somebody's got to take the bull by the horns if we really get left out.
The
and there's
Vernia
only
is
one
between
winner.
Vernia and us. And if we don't come up with some money, then we can be left out the door. It's kind of the way I.
Well, and then, do they build their building? Do they fund this
They
themselves?
make the
Is it
decision.
self-sufficient, or how is that?
They run it, right?
So my question would be, how come the city's opposed to this?
No, I don't think they're opposed to it, Mr. Talley. I think what happened was the gentleman came, Jay, that's his name, right? From YMCA, came and presented to the council. Some of the same questions that you have the council had, and he had no answer other than say they need to do the study to see where it's gonna go. But ultimately, wherever it goes, for Vernia or Floresville, they're gonna need some additional assistance in reference to land, or contribution, helping them with grants. So it's not done at the end of this day. So if at the end of the day that YMCA gets it, and it comes to Floresville, yay, then the party really begins as to how we're gonna fund this going forward. When I talked to Jay, he's willing to come to your meeting whenever we have it so that he can answer some of those hard questions. He also said we're already committed to 10, but they're only looking for $5,000 to begin it, and then $5,000 when it's completed, it's still a total of 10, but it may be over 2 budget cycles. The question, Mr. Talley, was from the council that I took back from your board was, does this fall in line with the council's thinking in reference to park participation? And they were really kind of like, I don't know if what they want to
And
do.
to
and that's
me,
what they
it's
want to
clearly
do.
not. You know, whether it's a good venture or not is not the question here in my mind. It is not in line with what you're requesting or the council requested. They asked us very specifically to look and focus on fixing, upgrading, you know, the current park and including the sports facilities. This is not in line with that. This is a new endeavor.
But this
But it
also
could
wouldn't,
be.
Fred,
Yeah,
this
well, wait a
would,
minute. Let me finish. And the concern here, you know, it's not the $10,000, but what happens if we actually get it here? Is it going to divert money from the needs that are already established on existing problems, existing projects to do this? Now, it's not a bad thing. We would love to have a Y. I would in Floresville. The question is, does it adversely affect our ability to do the fullest job that we can on what's very needed? And we know we need to fix those.
And without a plan, nobody knows anything.
But if we
Well,
go
but
with.
the plan comes after, you know.
But with the YMCA part of it, it's a long-term commitment. It's not just a commitment of the fee to do the study, it's a long-term commitment of just building and funding and coming up with money. So the council was saying, if we go that way, is why it is EDC saying, yes, they're gonna join hands and we're gonna help with this commitment of land or building and funding to be able to do and what it needs to happen. So it's a long journey that we would need to go through.
Again, I think if you want to do that, if FEDC, we want to do that, then let's do it, but don't say, because I don't think it fits that it's in line with what the council is asking us to do.
Fred, I don't think we know that yet.
That's
I think we do.
I don't think we do.
That's why I thought we could have the two boards get together.
That's the purpose of the
So
meeting.
that we
And
can
that's
have
right,
a
that's why I'm
discussion
saying
and
that the decision on this one item is just
to have them come and discuss, and so these different ideas.
Right back to what I started.
And y'all can talk about it and make that vote.
Well,
So
I
that-
can't comment educated on this matter because I never heard the presentation, so I'm not sure exactly.
But on the resolution, you look at the resolution, it's pretty clear, it's not well written, but it's clear that what they were asking us is to look at existing facilities that have problems and what can we do and how much money can we afford to put forward to fix the problems, to upgrade them, to make them better.
But that goes back to his question, who's gonna maintain it after it gets done?
Yeah, but that's
But
not,
Fred, that's not,
I
that's
know,
part of the
but that has
package.
to come after we commit ourselves to doing it.
No, wait a minute, no. I wouldn't commit to something before I knew what the
Well,
plan was.
But we're committing to do something here. We don't know what the cost of a Y coming in. The $10,000 is preliminary.
That's right, that, it's an analysis.
It's a study.
It's a study.
To study, okay,
Just a
but
feasibility
let's say
study.
that we become the site, you know, that we win, so to speak. Okay, now, how much money, he wouldn't answer, I asked the guy,
I know.
he wouldn't answer, how much money are we talking about? How much are we committing? You know, we win the race, so to speak, we put $10,000 in, and then we say that's too much money, we can't do it. We've wasted $10,000. Right?
Well, I don't know that you can say you wasted. If you begin to get this analysis put together and figure out what it is they can do and how that would fit with a potential plan that we have, that somebody wants for parks and recreation, how do you know it wouldn't fit together?
But don't forget, you know, the existing problems which have been there for a long time and which, according to the CERT and other people, are potentially an endangerment to our
Exactly,
participants.
and so if we don't know where we're gonna put those parks,
Well,
if we don't have.
let's ask them the proper questions. Let's ask the city then to tell us what it is that they need and how are we going to maintain.
Well, I thought they wanted us to come up with that plan.
Okay, then. here we
That's
are.
why they
On
wanna
this-
have that
So like on this item 6, do we think it, do we think it's a little premature since we haven't had a
I
joint
think this is a
meeting?
discussion item we have, we already have a meeting set to talk about this, it's been a joint session with the council. It was already on the agenda, obviously, but I don't think it's something that we need to,
Are you concerned?
So right
about-
clearly, I think everybody's saying we need a plan.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
You
so
need to know what it's gonna cost.
What is our strategy to get a plan in place? I think that's what we need to be answering.
I think
That
step
question.
one is having that workshop with council so
Huh?
that everybody's on the same page as to what is what.
Say that again?
To have that workshop.
Yeah,
is
the
where they
purpose of the
wanna-
meeting on the 15th is to
So
talk
John
about
can
this
discuss and go back and forth.
and see what,
Yeah.
which way
Well, it's
we'll
almost
go.
premature to have that without some leader in place that's gonna listen and take the ball and run with it.
Isn't this guy supposed to be, that can give us some kind of guidance
Jay
as far
will be
as?
there from the YMCA, he'll be there at the meeting, I just need to have a date to confirm that. And one of the things I picked up from the council did their resolution, and sent the vote resolution, you said, they usually come and talk to us, they don't have to send us resolutions to tell us what to do. So I'm like, okay, so I went back to the council, like, we need to meet, so that we can talk about how you want to approach the plan, who's supposed to do what. As my mom used to say, who shot John, we need to come up with that type of approach and have both boards together so that we can say, okay, how do we want to approach it, who's responsible for what, and how does both boards think about going to
That is
YMCA?
a major plan. That is not something that can be done in one meeting.
But we need to start the conversation so that we know.
Conversation is one thing, but an actual plan.
Right, but we have to start that conversation so that it's not a, I'm bringing you all a resolution and you saying, well, why y'all sitting in this?
That's right.
Right now, before we start talking about.
Why don't we just table this and discuss it on the 15th with the joint session of council?
Okay, having said that, that's fine with me. Having said that, is it our responsibility to identify, find, hire, employ someone with the expertise that can put together a long-term plan for development of parks for Floresville, and YMCA could be a part of that?
Potential.
Right, is it our job to hire someone to do that? Clearly, this board's not gonna do that.
We don't have
And
the
that is not
expertise to
what
do
we're
it.
doing. Huh?
The expertise
We don't
is
have that
not here.
knowledge.
We have to buy the expertise. We have to go out and look for that
Okay.
person.
And,
So-
and my thought, been all along with 15,000 was to hire a person to develop that plan. You know, we keep talking about spending that money here and repair this and whatever. Well, if we need to spend that for good advice, then maybe it's the best spent dollar. Spending in a bid situation.
If we had somebody like that on board, for example, the work you're fixing to do with the Pond Park should be a part of that. That person should give some advice in terms of, okay, if you do build this new facility, here's how I would recommend we maintain it. Here's what's going to require for maintenance. That ought to be true for any facility.
So what facility are you talking about right now?
Well, she's talking about building the restrooms, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard
But it's a whole spectrum.
Huh?
It's a whole spectrum of things. you
Right,
know,
right.
Park situation, including the sports facility, and the health of it, right? And how do we fix those? You know, even
So-
just getting it out of the car. you know.
So what I'm asking is, should we have on a future agenda, hiring someone or advertising or?
Well, I think Henrietta's right, we gotta have this darn meeting on the 15th or whatever we're gonna have it, and just get all the parties together and hear what everybody has to say, and then figure out where we're going.
And I'll put some of those things on the agenda, reference to a consultant, reference to, we'll have the original plan that we had for MS for capital improvements that we did back in 2010 or 2011. What he highlighted and said we need to do for park improvements, but remember that's an engineer, and necessarily those kind of things, and what we've done to date. So we put all those things together.
I don't have any problem with talking about it, but if you expect to have anything, expect to ever do anything, you're gonna have to hire someone.
Yeah.
See, this person owns this project.
You're responsible to.
And here's the timeline, here's our expectations.
And this budget to do some things, and then going forward for next budget, you prepare properly to say the consultant may not.
What I don't like is the idea of using these monies to patch here and patch there, and not really have that plan because when you start patching, and Floresville is known for this.
Well, I'll have those numbers by then about what it is and to see what it is and to see, we have a pot of money, we can say, do we want, because October 1 is right around the corner, say what you want to do and how you want to approach it. We can come up with a framework to say, okay, we hire this consultant and EDC hires a consultant, and we all come back and say, both boards have to do so.
It should be no different than any other major project. When you're going to fix or update or upgrade the sewer plant, what? You hire somebody. When you were dealing with the industrial park and the things that need to be done, what, you're paying an engineer to tell us what to do specifically, and so they should be no different. I have no problem with that.
It's the way the media will help us approach the plan.
Tony, is it possible to contact some surrounding area FEDC and our city manager people and say, you know, this is not a new problem. Other people have had the same problem. You know, benefit from their experience, maybe to
Seguin would
learn.
probably be a great,
Pardon?
Seguin or New Braunfels, because they've got beautiful parks.
Yeah, that, and I know we had a plan done, I can't remember the name, the city did, and we were gonna get back with that, parks design company.
Well, I don't think that we would want to talk to more than one person,
Right,
not the first person that says here.
yeah, it's just like the retail, you know, we have 2 or 3 people will come and present and so forth, but,
Well, the issue's not gonna go away, sooner we take ownership of it and say, we're gonna do it.
Let's go.
Better off
in the
being-
right direction.
We need a motion to table that.
Yes.
I move we table item number 6.
Second.
It's been moved by Jason, seconded by Fred, to table item number 6. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Number 6 is officially tabled. I'll see you on the 5th. I'll see you on the 15th.
No more table, no.
Yeah, and then that's the last. Item number 7, discussion and possible action item. Consider a change order in the professional engineering services agreement with Berg Engineering to allow for A, field survey of detention pond area, $3,750. B, detention pond construction plans, $19,900. C, monument sign structural plan, $1,950, for a total of $25,600.
and the reason we call it change orders, that's how construction and engineers term things. Basically, they're changing the professional services agreement that was dated October 17th, 2013, to increase the scope to do this stuff. We're just about finished with a paving project. It's time to strike while the iron's hot on getting those detention ponds put in. And basically, if you look on number 7, at the very back, it's got a anticipated schedule that basically the project was started today, which is not realistic, but if the project can be complete in February of 2016. So we've got the money, I'm saying let's move on and get this whole industrial park and all its problems cleared.
Explain to me, the $25,600 is for engineering services alone,
That's right.
and what are we getting for that?
Well, we're getting a field survey.
A, B, and C.
Yeah. But basically, they've got the survey where we're going to have the ponds, and it's just not a matter of picking a site. This is the engineer looking at water drainage and the water drainage system that we just got through finishing. Survey those, draw up construction plans so we can get it bid, get it bid just like we did with the roads, come up with an acceptable contract and turn them loose, and then have these things finished February, March of 2016.
Why is he excluding environmental studies? Why is that an issue?
Excluding what?
Environmental studies, why is that an issue? B, last sentence. I thought that was part of the issue here. Am I missing something?
One other thing that I'd also tell you is there has been work done on some previous engineering, so this is not just starting from scratch. There's already been
Yeah, I
dollars
think
spent.
it was
on this.
environmental before we ever started what we just finished, the detention, the drainage out of that park.
It's probably the permitting
It was.
part that's not.
It was.
Say that again, Mary Ellen.
It's probably the permitting part that is not included here.
Well, there was
I don't know what those permits
a
The
are.
drainage
engineering
study
study,
already
watershed study that was previously done. And we developed it and everything. Since the detention ponds weren't installed, we had to do our own watershed study off the prior engineering.
And this is a requirement by the county that we've been dealing with.
Yeah, we don't get a vote whether we want to build them or not build them. We
Right, I
have to
understand
approve
that,
them.
yeah.
You have
I
to,
think we've pushed it as far as we can go. The only question I had on these estimates myself, because I think we anticipated when we budgeted this year, these kind of dollars for this cost to get this thing proposed. And what has been nice is when we did the construction, letting him handle all the construction phases, making sure that it's done to their standards. I did have a question just about the sign itself, because that's just simply to put in a display sign. And I guess my question would be, do we really need to engineer that sign? I think any general contractor could determine the footing that it needs and establish, that sign where it needs.
If you don't want it, we'll take it out.
Yeah, but I think everything else is in line with what we've budgeted for. I would exclude that, because I think he
That begs the question, is he looking at our budget and determine what the charge is?
what's that?
The reason it's in there and I asked him to do it
I think he asked me to put it.
because we do things professionally, and I wanted an engineer with professional plans about the footing and the structure, so it didn't fall over in 8 years,
So
10 years.
if he didn't do it, who would do it?
Who would do what?
Who would do this, the monument sign construction plan?
Larry and we would,
Well, I guess you just draw on the contract.
and all of
So
this
the
work that we
contractor
did.
would be,
Well, we don't know that.
I know, but weren't we
all of these are gonna be used to bid the project.
Well, would this come, this monument structural plan is gonna come with a set of specs, I would assume?
That's right.
We're gonna have to get them from somebody. I mean, we already have enough deals that have gone through that have not been engineered, that have already bid everybody plenty.
Well, that was just my one comment.
Yeah.
We'll just deal with the project.
Oh, I know that, I just saw that, you know, I don't,
Jay,
that's just my good old boy.
we report on the standards.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move forward and do something, let's get on with it.
I have one comment
Discussion
if I may.
possible action.
Looking at the detention pond construction plans, the cost of them, the watershed study and everything for TECQ, the original engineer, was already done, so I'm just kind of curious, why so much? Something that's already done, he's gonna pull from that, just as my engineer did for our site, to do our watershed study and our plan for the county. I didn't pay nowhere close to that.
Well, then maybe we need to consider that for our next meeting. Consult about what those costs are and see if we can get that in line with that, I guess.
Flourish, could you please state your name for the record?
I'm Jesse Warren, with Udahoven.
With whom now?
Udahoven.
Ray, wouldn't it normally be that this individual would come, say, here's what I'm doing, have an interaction, my charges are? Is that too much to expect?
Well, we've had him do that.
He's out here
He's
numerous
been-
times. I mean,
Okay.
there's mounds and mounds of papers. He's
Okay.
also the engineer for the city.
Another big part of this.
Well, if you had
interaction
taught
with
it
the
better,
county.
I mean, I'm okay, but it seems like somebody with more ought to interact.
He's done all the engineering work and does it for.
And we've had no problems.
The first round, there was no engineering. There was no engineering work the first time.
Well, what's the problem having him come in and having him talk to us in July and tell us what, is that going to delay the process too much?
Not a problem.
You don't think that'll delay anything?
You do have the county patting our foot a little bit,
Yeah.
but that's, you know, if you don't wait a month, that, you know,
You have what, Ray?
the county's patting our foot a little bit where we have not really fulfilled the commitments we've made or the promises that were made, not necessarily us. Ma'am? Okay. Mayor says she got us covered, so I'm fine with waiting and having Larry come down. You know, if that's what we want to do, we certainly can do that.
Well,
I just know we need
the
it.
guy before, but I haven't found.
Let's table it and I'll bring Larry.
Well, I move that we table this until Larry comes back in July.
Have a second? It's a motion by Jason, a second by Chris, to table item 7 and have Larry come down and go over this discussion and these charges with him. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
The last item in the public meeting is supposed to start right now, but the last item is number 8. And basically, you can follow 1 through 7. There have been change orders in the work that's been done out there, but the good news is we're $6,000 to the good. And this includes the object signage and the delineation markers along the channel on the last, in front of the last piece of property. So
It's kind of rare that you get one that slides backwards.
well, Larry told me estimated the cost to have to move all of the water line, and they didn't have to, so we got those savings back.
And with that being said, there is a possibility we could have some savings in our budget on the retention ponds. I think they're a little steep also.
But I move we approve the change order number 1
Second.
as stated in the agenda.
Been moved by Jason, second by Mary Helen to approve change order number 1, stated in item number 8. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passes. Number 9.
Good, I made a
No,
motion to
I've done
adjourn.
too much tonight.
You wanna say?
Mayor Helen made a motion to adjourn, and Chris seconded, 3:30. Thank you, everybody. Now we go next door to another meeting.